Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video about the high school advice that I wish I got. Hopefully this doesn't come off as a surprise, but yes, I am indeed a high school graduate. I did my 4 years. I served my sentence. Going into high school, I was lucky enough to have a big sister who had experienced a lot of things and could give me a lot of guidance through whatever I was going through. But for those of you who don't have a big sister, or if you don't have someone that you can ask advice for, consider me your big sister, your best friend. I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. The first topic that I want to talk about is boys. I just have to. From my experience and what I learned, it seems like the most important thing to have a boyfriend in high school, and truly, it's not. I was pretty much single all 4 of my high school years except for the ending of my senior year. Not gonna lie, I was boy crazy, and I feel like that's kind of normal, especially when you're a teenage girl. I would just always be obsessing over who I think is the cutest, boys on the football team, just things that truly in hindsight don't matter at all. It might seem like the most important thing in the world to have a boyfriend or be talking to someone. I'm so glad that I did not have a boyfriend my first 3 years of high school, just because I truly got to live out my high school experience how I wanted it to be. I didn't have a shadow next to me telling me how they wanted me to live my life. I've seen a lot of my friends go through really controlling relationships, and I feel like that's really common in high school to have a controlling boyfriend, which kind of sucks. So that's that. But in the event that you do have a boyfriend, make sure you set boundaries. Don't do anything you don't want to do. High school boys are just high school boys at the end of the day. Know what you want and don't settle for anyone just because you want to have a boyfriend. I think having really good girl friendships is the most important thing, and that's the most fun. I do think it's really awesome to have experience, and just if you want to date different boys and find out what you like, then do that. To be honest, high school is just supposed to be stress-free, and the most problems I had throughout my high school was always revolved around boys. I had so much boy issues, and if you have a boyfriend, that's great. Good luck to you guys. I would say the most important thing is to not, 1, steal your friend's boyfriend. That happens more often than you would think. And 2, don't let it interrupt what you're doing, whether it's sports or your studies. The next topic that I kind of wanted to touch on is high school relationships. It's kind of similar to what I was talking about previously about boys. However, I have just seen so much happen. I only had 1 relationship in high school that I'm still in. I have just gained experience from other people's experience. What I wanted to say about high school relationships is that in high school, boys obviously aren't mature, and as women, it's just scientifically proven that we mature faster, and that's a fact. So boys aren't as mature, and they won't always treat you how you want to be treated. So all I wanted to say about high school relationships is 1, don't do anything you don't want to do, and 2, if a boy's making you cry every night, he's probably not right for you. I said it. Now we're gonna talk about actual high school itself. I want to say that the most common misconception is that people think that your freshman year doesn't matter, and I cannot stress to you guys how important freshman year is, just because at the end of the 4 years of high school you have a cumulative GPA, and also the GPA stuff set aside, it's really important to set good habits for the rest of your following years of high school, just because if you don't have good habits from the start, it's really hard to change that up. Personally, this is how my high school experience went. So freshman and sophomore year, I had really difficult classes. I took pre-AP classes, which was technically like an honors. I hate to say this, but it is true when people say junior year is kind of the worst, only because of the SAT and ACTs. But other than that, if you're cool with that stuff, pretty much it's a good year because you're a junior. You'll probably be able to drive by that year. So other than that, it's a good year. And then since I worked so hard my first 3 years of high school, I pretty much had a chill senior year. That's what happened. I took half day because I already had all my credits completed, so I just had to show up for 4 classes a day. I would say work hard the first 2 or 3 years of high school, just because your senior year, you're gonna want to have fun with your friends, make good memories, and just kind of do whatever you want. You don't want to be weighed down by school. That's my opinion. I know some people really like to pack on those AP classes, which if that is how you are, I give you a round of applause, because that's hard and that's amazing, because my senior year I was clocked out. Hi, I just wanted to say that my situation for senior year is very different than how it would normally be, just because you guys know I'm doing online college, so the requirements for that are much different. But if you're going the normal route of going to a college, then senior year can get stressful just because of applications and getting your teacher recommendations and stuff, so just keep that in mind. But what I was saying is that senior year is also just a fun year because it's the last one. Everyone has a different path, so do what you want to do. I just recommend working extra hard the first like 2 high school years, just because you want to be able to have options the other 2 years of high school. I did want to talk about AP classes. I have never taken one. I was supposed to take one my senior year, but I decided not to. It's much more beneficial if you have the option to, rather than taking AP classes, is to take classes at a local community college, just because you get real college credit for that. And the only thing about AP classes is that if you don't pass your AP exam, exam, then all that work you did literally counts for nothing. And also I want to add in there that grades are an important thing, but they're not the most important thing. I was the type of person, if I got a bad grade on a test, I would shut down. And honestly, looking back at it, it truly doesn't matter. Obviously you don't want that to happen all the time, but if at a certain time you do get a bad grade, it's not the end of the world just because you can ask your teacher for extra credit. There's things you can do. Hopefully the other tests you did well. It's really sad how much pressure is put on students. You are not your grade. You are you. You are amazing. You're not that letter on a piece of paper. I have some good experience on the next topic about girl drama. I feel like I am obliged to talk about this because I know most of my viewers are girls, and if you're in high school, you're just gonna have drama no matter what. You literally can't avoid it. However, I'm gonna give you some tips to avoid it as best as you can, because having girl drama, especially with other girls or even within your friend group, is worse than anything else. That ain't it. Let me start off by saying that it's a 95% chance that the friends that you go into high school with are not the friends that you're gonna leave high school with. That's just from my experience, and I know a lot of other people experience that too. In those 4 years of high school, you will grow a lot. The person that I was entering as a freshman is a completely different person as I left as a senior. So you're changing a lot, and so is everyone else. So with your friends, you kind of either grow together or grow apart. I don't think it ever has to be some petty things. Some people just aren't meant to be friends, and some people do keep their friends throughout all of high school, but I just want to say that make sure you trust your friends, because it's so sad. I have seen girls be best friends with someone and then they talk badly about their best friend to me, and I don't get that. Do not talk about other people. That is one thing that it's kind of just natural as a girl. Every girl gossips. It's really normal. Just watch who you're saying it to and kind of limit what you say, just because it's not good to put bad energy out there, and really everything can kind of circle back around to you because people will be like, oh, did you know what this person tells me? It can just turn into a big fat mess. My senior year going into it, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna have any girl drama this year. I'm gonna have a very small circle of friends. That was the best decision that I ever made. I feel like when I see girls that have really large group of friends, they always talk badly about each other, which I don't get. I guess a part of it is just human nature, but find friends that you really trust, because that will be really important. And just don't participate in joining in drama or talking bad about someone. If all your friends are talking badly about Gracie, you don't have to join in. It just is really not good. And when you're that person getting talked about, it is the worst feeling ever. I guess I would just say to treat others how you would want to be treated. Now I want to talk about teachers. There's 3 teachers that I had really good relationships with, and let me just say, if you can find at least one teacher who you click with, can create a good relationship with, that will help you so much, whether you're having friend issues and they can guide you through with drama, or you're having trouble with other problems. It's really nice to have a teacher that you can go to, or if you're ever in a situation where you have nowhere to sit with at lunch, it's really nice to have a teacher that you can go have a lunch with or just sit in their classroom. I've done that a couple times when I had no one else to sit with at lunch. It's so helpful having a teacher that you can confide in. And honestly, just be nice to your teachers. I know that some teachers aren't the best, but no one deserves to be talked over or laughed at or disrespected, and I feel like teachers just get so disrespected in the school systems a lot of times, and just have respect for them, because even if you hate learning about the subject, it is probably their 20th year teaching that subject, and they probably hate it more than you do. Now we have a special guest! Yeah! Oh. I wasn't planning on doing this, but this is my sister Kayla. You graduated in 2015, so she's old. I figured I would bring her in for this section because we both had experience with this. The topic that I want to talk about is making friends and handling mean girls. We were talking about it a little while ago, but there have been moments when we both have sat in the bathroom for lunch, which is really upsetting. Yeah. But I know a lot of people go through it, and a lot of people wouldn't think that we would go through it. But I feel like when you first enter high school, it's hard to make friends.
It's really hard because you're so nervous and you want to fit in, but you also want to stand out and be unique, but you don't want to be weird. And I would pretend to be on phone calls for the entire lunch hour, like a boyfriend or something, and just talking, and just so that when people walked by, I wasn't just but you just have to not be afraid to be yourself and put yourself out there. As scary as it is, people love that and respect that. And those are the type of people that you're drawn to.
That's true. When I pretended to be someone else, the friends that I made were awful. Yeah. If you really don't know how to make friends, I would join a club or a sport. Yeah. Because that's really nice to have a community.
Or theater.
Mean girls. They suck. I remember getting a DM on Twitter from this one girl, and she was like, meet me at the statue after school, I'm gonna Mean girls suck. The only thing I can say is don't be the mean girl. It's really easy to talk about people and gossip about people and be mean. It's so easy.
Especially because that seems to be a really easy way to make friends. Is to talk about like a weird chick, you know, or like, like, you know what I mean? That's an easy way to like connect with someone, but that's not like true.
What do you do though? I feel like there's really nothing you can do because you don't want to be that girl that like tells a teacher or something. But if it gets to that point, I wouldn't let it.
Right. Of course, if you're being seriously like
harassed,
physically and harassed, then you should go tell a teacher, tell your superiors. But like, it's not gonna last forever. Like, mean girls are so petty, and that's something that you deal with mean people in life. That's just the way life goes.
There's one more thing I really want to talk about because this is a really big part in high school culture, and it is parties and social outings. I want to talk about social outings first. So like football games and stuff, please go to them. Yeah. They're so fun. I had a weird phase where I was like, I'm too cool for school spirit. And then my senior year, I was just so into it. And it's so fun to be into it. It's literally not lame at all to show school spirit and
participate in your spirit days. Like even if no one else does, like it's just fun.
Even like, looking back at it, it's just so cool. And also make memories while you can. Take lots of pictures, videos. Those are always so fun to look at. I know when you look back at your high school photos, it's just so interesting and weird.
It's not gonna matter when you graduate anyway.
You wouldn't want to look back on your high school experience and just regret not doing stuff. So now we're gonna talk about parties. I'm just kidding. Don't do anything you don't want to do. Don't go anywhere you don't want to go.
That's a good point to hit, yeah. Especially at, like, if you're first like interested in partying, it's probably mainly because you feel peer pressure to, or like your friends are, and it's not lame if you don't want to go. I would always like look at the people that didn't go, and I was like, good for you guys. Like, I don't have the willpower.
And the thing is, you can go to parties and you don't have to do anything. If you do go, I would always make sure to go with someone else. Always tell someone where you're going to, just because it's so easy to lie to your parents about where you're going, I feel like, but it can get really dangerous if something happens and they don't know where you are. You never know what's gonna happen. You don't want to turn into one of those sad stories, and it's just not worth it. Plus, if you don't party, it's really not a big deal because a lot of people that get addicted to partying in high school, even some people that she knew that went to parties back in 2015, it's 2019 and that's still all they do. It's not the worst thing if you don't do it.
Like, it's lame. When you're 21, great, go to bars, go to clubs, whatever, have fun.
Yeah.
But
I remember before going into high school, I was like, oh my gosh, like Project X. You think it's gonna be like
Project X? I was just gonna say, it's like Project X. Everyone's like,
and it's really lame.
My whole thing with high school is that like when you're in it, it just seems like it's life.
It's the most important thing.
High school is the be all ends all, the alpha omega, beginning and end.
Everybody now. Bonus round. I'm gonna have both of us say something that we wish we knew going into high school that we later learned. Go ahead.
Kind of just what I said before, like, I just wish I knew that it wasn't life. You really think you know who you are in high school. You're like, oh, there's no way I could ever mature from this point. Like, I know everything. But high school is just such a small part of your life, and it can be really fun and great, and high school is what you make it.
What I wanted to say, I would say something like that high school isn't everything, even though it feels like everything. Whether you're having the worst high school experience, it's gonna come to an end. And whether you're having the best high school experience, it's also gonna come to an end.
Whoa.
And that's it. Thank you. That is gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it helped you guys out. If you still have questions, comment them down below because I'll be answering or other people will answer them. If you stayed to this point in the video, first of all, you're amazing. And second of all, comment down below a pencil. That's so lame. It's fine. Just do it. Here's today's merch bread babe of the week. You guys are amazing. That's all I have to say. Okay, enjoy high school, I guess. Okay. Bye.